Choose one and take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear is more than simply words. It is a divine alignment. Have you felt a stirring in your spirit, indicating that something significant is about to happen? Have you ever noticed how old things suddenly feel too small, and the air around you feels as if it is holding its breath? That is because you are on the verge of destiny, and not just any time. This is the final stage. This Sunday is more than just a date in the calendar. It's a sacred junction where your preparation meets heaven's release. You did not come here by chance. This moment was carefully staged, and you, chosen one, are in the middle of it. What if I told you that everything you've been through has led you to this doorway? That the anguish served a purpose, and that the waiting was not denial, but divine timing? What if you hadn't been stuck all along? You were getting set up. Do you sense a weight on your chest right now? That is not anxiety. That is activation. The energy is already moving. The spiritual current is growing. The sky are awake. The final directive has been provided. It is time. And before we go any further, I'd like to thank everyone who has supported this adventure, especially those who have chosen to donate through Super S. Your support allows our teachings to reach more souls around the world. Please be aware of this, regardless of whether you give. You are deeply appreciated. Your presence, energy, and spirit are important here. This is a sacred location, and your agreement with this message is more potent than words. Now, it's your turn. If this word has already resonated with you, please leave a remark below with your warmest affirmation and the number 777. Do not underestimate this deed. This small moment of written agreement causes a wave. It spreads spiritual energy throughout the universe. It indicates that you are prepared, rather than merely hoping. It confirms your alignment with the last phase that is already taking place in your life. When you speak, chosen one, the universe listens. What you say today shapes the surroundings you walk in tomorrow. So, let us begin. The surge is already in motion. The move has already been triggered, and your spirit understands just why you've been drawn to this message. You're not watching by chance. You're keeping an eye on things, since your destiny will take effect this Sunday, and nothing will be the same. God's chosen ones, your destiny has been activated. This Sunday is the final phase. Music. Choose one and listen carefully. What you've gone through was never an indication of failure. It was proof of formation. You have not been refused. You've undergone development. Every delay served as divine strategy rather than a detour. Can you see now how even quiet served a purpose? All of those sleepless nights, heartbreaks that made you question your worth, and rejections that made you feel invisible, were not mistakes. Life was not driving you away from your destiny. It was stretching you so that destiny would fit. You were never unworthy. You were simply in God's workshop, being prepared for something bigger than the normal soul can bear. The crushing was not cruel. It was an assessment of your capability. Your wings were not clipped. They were cocooned. What if each betrayal was a disguised prophecy? What if the same individuals who went away were used to force you into solitude so you could hear paradise better? The truth is that you have been in preparation mode, and now you are entering the season of purpose. This Sunday is more than simply another day. It's a holy line in the sand, the final spiritual awakening. Can you feel it in your bones? The earth beneath your feet is shifting as your spirit aligns with a chronology that has always been yours. You won't only hear God's voice, you are going to recognize it. Suddenly, the fog lifts. You've been wrestling with internal confusion. It clears. The orientation becomes unshakable. The maybe transforms into a move. Now, the doors that used to slam in your face will not simply open. They will open wide as the code within your spirit is read loudly in the courts of heaven, because the vision must wait for its time to come. But in the end, it will speak and not lie. Wait for it, even if it tarnishes, for it will come and will not stay. Habakkuk 23. This isn't about hope anymore. This is about divine fulfillment. You did not miss your opportunity. You were being prepared for it. Your secret years were never squandered, just as Nelson Mandela's 27 years in prison, which were not a punishment, but heavenly preparation for a global destiny. He appeared with clarity and authority. You, like him, shall be molded by fire. Why now? Because heaven is no longer whispering your name. It declares it. You've kept something holy within you that couldn't be unleashed unless it was preserved. Spiritual identity is more than just being distinct. It's about being unique. You were born with sacred technology, blueprints etched in your spirit that no one else on earth can copy. Have you ever questioned why you couldn't blend in even if you tried? Why did your presence appear to shake the room without you saying anything? It's because you are marked. Like Harriet Tubman, who had an unshakable feeling of calling long before freedom arrived. You have been walking with vision in your blood. She did not wait for permission. She moved on a supernatural instinct. And now you will. This Sunday, the timing coincides with the task. It is not simply the end of a week. It's the end of the delay. You've been summoned to a room for which you previously believed you were unqualified. What if the rejection was proof of protection? What if God was only keeping you hidden till the proper yes could meet your maturity? You are not the same version of yourself who once questioned your position. You are entering crowned with clarity. And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ after you had suffered briefly, will restore you and make you strong, firm, and faithful. 1 Peter 5:10. It is your repair season, and it is not gradual. Rather, it is startling. Remember how Oprah Winfrey was dismissed from her early reporting position because someone told her she wasn't cut out for television? That rejection became the foundation for a billion-dollar destiny. You, like her, were not rejected. You were promoted to a higher position. This is not about fame. It's all about fulfillment. The world has had enough noise. It's time to hear the chosen's voice. There is a mountain with your name on it. You've spent years in the valley, watching others climb what wasn't meant for them and then fall. But you, selected one, were preparing to climb a height that only your feet could reach. This Sunday, the mountain recognizes you and replies to you. Your spirit has achieved the precise resonance required to activate the next level. The Lord directs a good man's steps, and he takes pleasure in them. Psalms 37:23. This is not merely a spiritual promotion. It's a prophecy fulfilled. You will not return as the guy they misjudged, like Steve Jobs did when he returned to Apple after being fired, only to transform the world with the iPhone. You're returning enhanced, honed, and hazardous to any system that previously attempted to wipe you. The delays have ended. The preparation season is coming to a close. Your fate is no longer in the future tense. It is present. It is operational. It is now. This is the final phase. And all of heaven is watching as you soar. In the final phase, choose one. The shaking you're experiencing is not chaotic. It's time for clearance. Things are starting to leave your life. You are not being punished, but rather your path is being purified. Can you sense some connections becoming distant? Certain doors silently close, and certain habits suddenly feel too heavy to carry. Don't panic. Do not try to cling. This is not rejection. It's a realignment. This is heavenly filtering, and it removes anything that cannot withstand the altitude you are ascending to. Some people weren't meant to see the version of you that is about to emerge. They were assigned to your past rather than your current purpose. And, whatever terrible it may feel, the separation is sacrosanct. You are not being abandoned. You are being anointed. As a result, if you are in Christ, you have become a new creature. The old has passed. The new is here. 2 Corinthians 5:17. This Sunday, something small but seismic will change. As you rise from your bed, the air will feel electrifying. The spiritual atmosphere will contain a pulse that only your soul can detect. It will not appear dramatic to the outside world, but it will be clear to you. A pull in your chest, a whisper in the breeze, a sense of peace that drowns out the commotion. Have you ever pondered how destiny manifests itself? It does not necessarily make its presence known by thunder. Sometimes it arrives in silence, which screams louder than words. Your heart will perceive it immediately. Your body will follow, and the entire cosmos will shift its emphasis to you. This is not a feeling. It is a frequency, and you have just tuned in. Think about Moses. He was not in a palace when his mission was disclosed. He was tending sheep unnoticed when the burning bush altered everything. There is no crowd, no applause, only sacred fire and divine assignment. Similarly, what you activate this Sunday will not require validation. It will require obedience. Behold, I'm trying something new now. It springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. Destiny does not necessarily arrive with a bang. It usually begins with a breeze. However, once it touches you, you will be compelled to notice everything you previously neglected. Yes, people will notice. Those who previously underestimated your worth will sense the weight of your presence before you even speak. You'll go into rooms that previously refused you, and the air itself will change. Your voice will resonate with new authority. Your ideas will have supernatural wisdom. Have you seen how Malala Yousafzai, who was once silenced by injustice, grew to speak up with a global impact? Her glow was not cosmetic. It was spiritual. It was created in fire and reawakened by destiny. Her assignment, like yours, arrived when everything appeared to be broken. And when it did, the world couldn't ignore her radiance. This Sunday, your light begins to shine through every shadow that attempted to conceal you. You are not being told to hustle harder. You are being called to a deeper level of alignment. This last step is not won through force. It's received via flow. You don't have to pursue the blessing when it's following you. What if the precise thing you've been praying for has been approaching you all along, but it can only come after your spirit is healed enough to hold it? Now that you've weathered the crushing, that you've held firm in the face of disappointment, the glow within you has returned. It is undeniable. Arise, shine, for your light has arrived, and the Lord's splendor has risen upon you. Isaiah 61. That grandeur does not come by accident. It lands on the prepared. And you, chosen one, are prepared. Even those who have misjudged you will feel it. Remember how Howard Schultz, Starbucks' former CEO, was rejected over 200 times while pitching the company's vision? He did not need widespread approval. He required supernatural persistence. When his purpose and preparation collided, the world created room. The same type of shift is coming your way. Ideas that were previously discarded will suddenly acquire popularity. The dreams you put on hold will rise to the surface and make a powerful return to your life. You won't need to explain your glow. People will sense it before you even speak. This Sunday commemorates your magnetism. What you've been looking for is already programmed to find you, not via effort, but out of necessity. You're become a live symbol of divine things. You radiate a frequency that manifests miracles, unites with heaven, and silences fear. The time for wondering is over. The season of bewilderment is over. This is not the conclusion of your narrative. This marks the beginning of your visible reign Let us not become weary of doing good. We will reap in due season if we don't give up. Galatians 6:9. The time to reap has come. The season has changed, and the crown is descending directly into your spirit. You were never intended to carry the complete blueprint, chosen one. You were designed to carry faith. Stop exhausting yourself by attempting to forecast every detail. Your responsibility is not to micromanage the divine. Your role is to move when heaven says so. This journey was never about assurance. It was all about trust. You don't need to view the entire staircase. You only need to take the next step. What if everything you require is already available on the other side of your obedience? You do not need to control the timing. You have to trust the timing. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will straighten your paths. Proverbs 3:5, 6. That path may not seem like what you expected, but it takes you exactly where you need to go. What if you were being positioned for rooms you didn't know existed? What if you are about to meet someone whose sole purpose is to recognize and activate your greatness? This is how destiny works. It frequently enters through unexpected doors. Just like David was anointed king while tending sheep in a field. He did not submit a resume to the throne. He was summoned. He did not pursue the crown. The crown pursued him. And, like David, your name is being spoken in rooms you have never entered. Are you prepared, chosen one, for a favor that defies logic? Can you endure being blessed in ways you did not deserve, simply because you connected with divine timing? Signs are already surrounding you. Repeating numerals flash on clocks and receipts. Dreams that feel more real than your everyday reality. Conversations that reflect your prayers. This isn't a coincidence. This is communication. God is validating what this message is telling you, not only through Scripture, but also through the universe's natural rhythms. And later, I will pour out my Spirit on every flesh, and your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your elders will have dreams, and your youth will see visions. Joel 2:28. Heaven is currently very loud. However, not everyone has the spiritual ears to hear it. You do. That is why you have been pulled to this specific time. This is why your spirit is stirred. The curtain is lifting, and your alignment is being refined. But be warned. As you move closer to the breakthrough, the distractions become louder. Do not be surprised if old habits return. Don't fall for the hype. Maintain vigilance. The ultimate test frequently manifests as familiar comfort, masquerading as opportunity. It wants you to turn back. But why would you go backward when your spirit is designed to lead? Consider how J.K. Rowling was rejected 12 times before someone eventually accepted her manuscript. If she had given up on the 11th, the world would never have known about her gift. Distraction always attempts to undermine destiny at the point of impact. So ask yourself, what is attempting to get your attention right now? What's vying for your attention as you near the final gate? You are not insane if you believe that something significant is about to happen. When you notice a change in the atmosphere, you're not overthinking it. That is your spirit perceiving movement in the invisible. This is when you need to listen with your soul, not just your ears. Do not let the world's volume drown out God's clarity. Whether you turn to the right or left, you will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. You are being steered by accuracy rather than coincidence. And heaven never delivers instructions unintentionally. Every sign, stirring, and spiritual nudge you felt has led you here. Consider Tyler Perry, who was homeless, sleeping in his van, and dealing with rejection after rejection, before ultimately finding divine timing. And as it struck, everything accelerated. Doors that had been locked for years were finally opened. He did not strive. He remained aligned, He kept writing, believing, and listening. And eventually, destiny found him already ready. That's your tale too. The strain you've endured, the prayers you've uttered, and the pledges you've kept are all coming together. And when they achieve divine alignment, miracles will not trickle, but will rush. So now, selected one, keep your gaze forward. The final distraction will try to make the most noise, but don't give it any power. Do not let hesitation hold you back from taking the next move, because what awaits you is glory, favor, fulfillment, and purpose in full bloom. Let us focus on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. Hebrews 12:2. He started the work in you and is now completing it. You are not striving. You are lining up. The final step has already found you. You will feel the pressure to pick one. Your chest tightens and your hands tremble. It's not a weakness. It indicates that the atmosphere around you is changing. The pressure is not a signal to retreat. It's a spiritual sign that you're about to cross a boundary. Fear might attempt to rise. Doubt may whisper in your ear. However, none of this implies that you should stop. In fact, it demonstrates that a breakthrough is only inches away. Why would resistance increase unless something powerful was going to be released? God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and clear mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Don't run away from the strain. Walk through it. It is not crushing you. It is crowning you. Comfort has never led to greatness. It was created via fire, storms, and silent nights when your prayers felt like they were hitting a wall. And yet, you are still breathing, rising, and believing. That alone demonstrates your courage. The same fortitude that carried you through betrayal, disappointment, and delay is now your launchpad. It's your superpower now. You aren't just surviving anymore. You are activated. The faith that formerly stopped you from falling is now opening doors to divine favor. You do not need to struggle for this moment. You earned it through obedience, faithfulness, and submission. The heavens have seen everything, and they have reserved this time for you. Look at Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't always feel bold, but he continued moving forward. Even when the terror was intense and death threats poured in, he felt the burden. But he recognized that purpose was more important than fear. And so do you. The strain you're feeling right now isn't a signal to take a break. It is a divine push. You, chosen one, are not entering into uncertainty. You are on the verge of achieving your goals. This is not unknown territory. This has always been your path. It's only now evident. I knew you even before you were born. I made you unique even before you were born. Jeremiah 15. You are not walking into a mystery. You are walking into God's recollection of who you always were. Does it feel overwhelming? That's because it's genuine. You're not pretending anymore. You are becoming. You're standing in a time when your life was talked over before you took your first breath. This is more than just a personal breakthrough. It's a prophetic fulfillment. Your destiny is catching up with your obedience. What if every tear, every tribulation, and every near failure helped you get to this point? This is what divine alignment feels like. Unfamiliar, but undeniable. And certainly, your younger self would be in tears of delight right now. That part of you that wondered if you'd ever heal. That child within you who wished for more, who envisioned becoming someone strong, free, and effective, is no longer a dream. It's becoming reality. You are now embodying the version of yourself that your former self wished for. The cycle is complete. The prophecy is unfolding. Being sure that he who began a good work in you will see it through to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Philippians 1:6. You too are defying the odds, just as Simone Biles did by overcoming trauma, doubt, and pressure to become the most decorated gymnast in history. She was not picked because she was perfect. She was chosen because she was ready. And so are you. Don't let the gravity of the situation deter you from acting. Simply put, the weight of prophecy has been fulfilled. The gates are opening. The way is becoming clearer. The crown is lowering. So, chosen one, take the step not out of fear, but with fire. With every cell in your body, know that heaven is watching, shouting, and moving alongside you. You're not alone. You're not lost. You're not late. You are in divine alignment. And the same power that sustained you during preparation is now releasing you into manifestation. Have I not commanded you? Be powerful and courageous. Don't be afraid. Do not get discouraged. For the Lord your God will accompany you wherever you go. Joshua chapter 1:9. The Lord, who wrote your beginning, has already secured your end. There is a divine purpose why your selected road was more rugged. It was not because you were forgotten. You were being forged. Others may have taken shortcuts, but your journey demanded sacred transformation. Can you feel it now, looking back? Waiting, isolation, and grief. They were all chisels in the hands of heaven. You were never on the same schedule as those around you, since your goal was never routine. You were created to carry a light that can shine across generations. And this type of light cannot be hastened. It must be refined. That's why the detours occurred. That is why the blessings did not appear when you begged. God wasn't denying you, but rather preparing you to withstand what was about to be poured out. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to remain still. Exodus 14:14. You were still while heaven performed your miracle. This Sunday is more than just another step. It represents the spiritual beginning of a new chapter in your life. The activation is not about receiving a single blessing. It is about accessing a heavenly chronology, loaded with several layers of breakthroughs that have been building up in the unseen. Imagine a spiritual vault stocked with every answered prayer, every stored promise, and every heavenly connection you were previously denied. Everything is now aligning, and it only needs one final spiritual password: your whole alignment. Are you prepared to get what you no longer need to chase? Because this time, chosen one, the blessing will not require your effort. The flow will find you. The vault is opening, but it isn't trickling. It's a rush. This wealth is the result of inheritance rather than effort. Just like Joseph, who endured betrayal, imprisonment, and years of waiting before being catapulted overnight to a position of power that altered a nation. You, too, are about to understand why the anguish had to last so long. Joseph didn't expect the promotion, but heaven had already prepared the seat. When the time came, no one could stop him from achieving his divine purpose. So, God, not you, sent me here. Genesis 45:8. What if the delays were truly divine redirection? What if your entire journey was a covert plan for visible glory? That's exactly what's happening now. You are not simply stepping into a new opportunity. You are entering your original blueprint, heavenly design. The reason it felt unbearable at times was because what you were carrying was exceptionally heavy. You couldn't quit, even if you wanted to, since your spirit was rooted in something old. That was not stubbornness. That was sacred DNA drawing you forward. There were times when everything in you shouted to go away, but something deeper was whispering, "Hold on." That something was called purpose. It wouldn't let you go because it knew the moment was approaching. The fire did not destroy you because it was never intended to do so. It was sent for purification. Consider the voyage of Maya Angelou. After being silenced for years due to trauma, she may have drifted into obscurity. However, her stillness did not mean death. It was a preparation. Her voice eventually reverberated throughout generations, affecting millions. Her pain inspired her poetry. And yours, too, will become a platform. You are not being penalized. You are being positioned. And now that the refining is over, you can wear the crown without ego, talk without performance, and walk with vision rather than fear. This is more than just a season of rewards. This is your reward season. The long-held vows, whispered prayers, and years of faithfulness in obscurity are all coming together now. But what sets this season apart is that it is not based on effort. It's based on divine alignment. You aren't running after open doors. They are opening up to you. You are not networking for favors. Favor is now seeking you out to Him, who is capable of doing immeasurably more than we ask or anticipate, because to the force that is at work within us. Ephesians chapter 3, 1-20. That power has always been within you, but now it is fully activated. Think about Elon Musk. He was discarded, criticized, and told he was overly ambitious and unrealistic. But he kept creating and believing. And when his time arrived, the world could not ignore the impact. Like him, your vision has seemed too big for most people to comprehend. But that's because it wasn't intended for the majority. It was intended for you. And this Sunday, the sky will announce that your vision has crossed the barrier of manifestation. So, chosen one, enter in not with fear or trepidation, but with the assurance of someone who has already been confirmed by heaven. This is not a fluke. It's not luck. It's a legacy, and it is yours. You earned it faithfully rather than perfectly. The strain prepared you. The fire has polished you. Silence shaped you. And now you're living your life's purpose. Everything within you is now clicking into place. Selected one. This is no coincidence. It is convergence. Your dreams, instincts, and timing. What once felt fragmented is now aligning like constellations on a map. Have you seen it yet? Have you considered how the weight you formerly carried now feels like a cape of purpose? You are no longer reaching for the future. You are standing in it. The version of yourself that you originally desired is no longer a pipe dream. It has arrived. But why now? Because the waiting was not a waste of time. It was a sacred maturation. You were not being delayed. You were being shaped into someone who could embrace the calling, rather than just observe it from a distance. God does not want you to simply wish for meaning. He asked you to embody it. And now you're prepared. But let patience do her flawless work, so that you can be perfect and complete, desiring nothing. James 4. This Sunday, a miraculous window will open, and what emerges will not be subtle. Winds of favor will sweep through your existence. Winds that are precise, powerful, and clear. You will feel it in your bones. Have you ever had a sacred moment that hushed all your doubts? That is what this will be like. That weird restlessness you felt for years. It will eventually make sense. Your thoughts will stop spinning. Your energy will surge. The gray area between waiting and moving will vanish. The fog of hesitation will dissipate, and your next move will be crystal clear. You will not doubt it. You will know. And the power of divine momentum will grab your hand and whisper, "Let's go." And you will travel further in 1 week than you did in a year. Not because you're working harder, but because you've finally come into complete harmony with the appointed moment. The Lord directs a good man's steps, and He takes pleasure in them. Psalm 37:23. And, absolutely, there will be signals, not at random, not ambiguous, but supernatural confirmations sent directly from above. What if what you thought was a coincidence was actually God's coded communication? You will notice synchronicities that defy logic. Seeing the same numbers repeated, having a fleeting word reveal a significant truth, or encountering someone who sets off a chain of breakthrough occurrences. When you wake up from your dreams, they will leave a lasting impression on your spirit, and what appeared to be an awful delay will turn out to be a wonderful route. Divine winks, precisely timed. You will not have to guess. You'll know because this Sunday isn't a test. It's a divine confirmation. The heavens are no longer asking questions. They're offering replies. And your ears will hear a message behind you, saying, "This is the path. Walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. Just like Serena Williams, who endured seasons of injuries, criticism, and personal adversity before returning with greater clarity and impact, your moment is one of return, not simply arrival. Are you prepared for people to react to your presence in diverse ways? You accepted who you are, not because you changed. People may be unable to identify what has changed, but they will feel it. Your mere presence will convey weight. You will enter a room and adjust the temperature. The beauty of it is that you won't have to make any announcements. While others strive to be seen, you will radiate effortlessly. Your silence will be more powerful than someone else's shouting. Your glow will not be on display. It'll be heavenly evidence. The shift will not be something you can manufacture. It will be something heaven has already decreed. Why you? Why now? Because heaven has already made its decision. A spiritual vote has been cast. The seal has been placed. And you're the one. Covenant, rather than accident, popularity, or performance. You were not chosen by anyone. You were picked with purpose. You did not pick me, but I chose and assigned you to go and bear fruit. Fruit that lasts. John 15:16. So, what does it mean to walk in fruitfulness that will not fade? It indicates that your impact outlasts your effort. It means you leave an eternal legacy. Consider the ascension of Chadwick Boseman. Quiet, concentrated, and purposeful. He didn't have to exclaim his worth, energy, devotion, or presence. They talked for him. Are you prepared to let your energy speak before your words? He walked with purpose and grace, and heaven supported him every step of the way. He created a legacy not by seeking recognition, but by living in harmony. And that is your route as well. No more forcing, no more proving, just being, obeying, and flowing in the frequency that affirms what God has already established. So, chosen one, don't expect too much pressure on Sunday. Prepare for peace. Not stillness from doing nothing, but power from knowing that everything is now moving in divine harmony. Allow others to chase. You simply align. Allow others to perform. You just turn up. What if you could take a step forward, knowing that nothing important will pass you by? This is not your rehearsal. It's time for your liberation. And you're not coming in looking for approval. You are stepping in already chosen, validated, and aligned. Because the vision must wait for its time to come. Despite the tar, wait for it since it will undoubtedly arrive. It will not linger. Habakkuk 2:3. Now, chosen one, the appointed hour has arrived. Do not be alarmed, chosen one, if everything starts to fall apart as this Sunday approaches. Have you noticed it yet? The unexpected separation from those you once worked so hard to hold on to. Quietly releasing habits with which you no longer resonate. Even beliefs you formerly held dear may suddenly seem insufficient for the version of yourself that is emerging. But this isn't destruction. It is divine elevation. God is pruning your life for a cause. And this is how you'll recognize Him. You will not feel panicked. You will experience tranquility. Not the peace that the world recognizes, but the calm that silences dread without explanation. And God's peace, which exceeds all understanding, will protect your hearts and minds in Christ. Philippians 4:7. When the removal seems like a relief, you have confirmation. Your soul is being unburdened, not empty. You're being lightened, since the weight of glory ahead will be too much for what you used to carry. Have you considered that not everything you have with you in the previous season is suitable for the next? There's no room for burdens that aren't yours. There is no room for interactions that bring you out of harmony. There is no tolerance for playing small to keep others comfortable. Are you finally prepared to stop apologizing for your calling? Because the season of shrinking has ended. What formerly held you captive to fear is being removed by grace. What if the discomfort you're experiencing is God's hand unraveling the chains that were holding you back? This is the beginning of your liberation, and you have no reason to feel guilty about it. Look at Michelle Obama. Before she became a global icon, she had to let go of the burden to live up to others' expectations of her. She stopped trying to fit into societal norms and embraced her full identity. So what happened? Her voice altered atmospheres. Her presence transformed leadership. She did not wait for permission. She became more focused on her purpose. You must do the same. You are not here to make everyone comfortable. You've come to carry out metamorphosis. Expand the footprint of your tent. Extend your tent curtains wide. Don't hold back. Isaiah 54:2. You are not being asked to adjust. You are being prompted to expand. The next chapter has already been written. But here's the deal. It does not start with comfort. It starts with courage. Are you willing to enter a story that does not require you to beg for admission, but rather challenges you to walk in boldly? This chapter is written in the language of authority, destiny, and divine power. No more rehearsing or arguing with old mindsets. The page has already turned in paradise. You just need to catch up spiritually. Can you feel the call? It is not asking for permission. It necessitates alignment. And once you enter, everything changes. Your name will begin to gain respect, not via popularity, but by heavenly acknowledgement. Your presence will move rooms, not with effort, but with frequency. Conversations will change direction simply because you entered. Your decisions will have a powerful ripple effect, bringing abundance not only for yourself, but also for everyone around you. Have you ever wondered why chores that used to deplete you now feel effortless? Why does something that used to scare you suddenly seem like a sacred invitation? It's because you've shifted out of survival mode. You are currently working with supernatural alignment. You will also declare something, which will be established for you, and light will beam on your path. Job 22:28. No more crumbs. No more spiritual starvation. No more expecting that someone else will invite you in. You are now sitting at the table that has always had your name engraved on it. This is not about earning your place. It is about remembering it. Consider Viola Davis. She spent years being disregarded, walled in, and undervalued. But once she stopped waiting for industry approval and embraced her voice, the role she was supposed to portray came to her. Her story exploded not with permission, but with heavenly declaration. And so will yours. You are no longer knocking on doors. You are the door. So, selected one, as Sunday arrives, don't resist breaking away. Celebrate it. That shedding is not loss. It is starting to lift. The weight of the past makes way for the wind of the future. What has been emptied will no longer be accessible. What once kept you constrained will no longer define you. See, I am trying something new. It has sprung up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. You're not merely starting a new chapter. You represent the next chapter, and every syllable of it is already blessed. Everything about you is about to improve. One was chosen not just for its form, but also for its frequency. Have you observed the shift beginning yet? Your walk feels firmer. Your tone of voice seems more confident. Your style of thinking is no longer controlled by fear, but rather by destiny. What used to make you pause is now driving you to action. You are no longer squinting through the lens of doubt. You are seeing with the clarity of divine purpose. Your energy will begin to attract marvels. Your words will no longer simply fill space. They will pierce the atmospheres. Your intuition will sharpen into a prophetic edge, and your findings will leave no space for debate. What if your promotion doesn't come? What if it is already happening? The Lord offers wisdom. He speaks with wisdom and insight. Proverbs 2:6. You won't have to explain your calling anymore. It will become undeniable. The fruit will speak before your voice. This is it, the last step. The reveal comes after years of obscurity. Visibility following the buried season. Can you feel the veil thinning? Can you sense when heaven thinks it's time for you to be seen? This is not about fame. It's all about fulfillment. For so long, you questioned why your abilities were hidden, why your light was dimmed, and why your spirit seemed to pause while others rushed. But that was not punishment. It was about positioning. God had reserved you. And now that the world is prepared, heaven is dissolving the veil. You are about to be seen for who you were meant to be. Heaven is not simply cheering you on. It is mobilizing its entire force behind you. Do you realize this? What if the delays were divinely orchestrated rather than denials? You may have felt alone in nature, yet the spiritual realm has been working on your side. Angels have been assigned. Portals have opened. Pathways have been cleaned. Every obstacle, detour, and no you've sobbed over is about to be your testimony. You'll look back and think, if that hadn't fallen apart, I wouldn't have ended up here. What appeared to be loss was a redirection to alignment. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Consider Oprah Winfrey. She was told she was unfit for TV, and she faced rejection after rejection. But what if that rejection was truly divine rerouting? It placed her exactly where she needed to be, not where the world expected, but where God had already planned. And her story has become one of the greatest testimonies of divine preparation and purpose. It's not a coincidence that when you're about to embark on a new adventure, old emotions tend to resurface. Just like her, nothing in your story will go to waste. Not the heartbreak, not the years of silence, not even the parts you're ashamed of. Everything is being woven into a masterpiece. You were never ruined. You were being refined. The enemy always brings confusion before clarity, fear before satisfaction. But chosen one, don't fall for it. Don't engage in the old lies. Don't pick up the baggage you've already left down. That story is over. That chapter is closed. You've outgrown the energy of limitation. Isaiah 54:17 says that no weapon formed against thee will prosper, and every tongue that rises against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. The battle is no longer yours. It has already been won. The false attachments are dissolving. The expired identities are peeling away, and you are not becoming someone new. You're revealing who you've always been beneath the survival layers. The real you, the focused, faith-filled, fire-laced version, is rising. Do you feel it? The pressure in your chest isn't anxiety, it's activation. The burning in your belly isn't fear, it's fire. The rise doesn't ask for comfort, it asks for courage. And if you're afraid, walk anyway. In Joshua 1:9, Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for 27 years and was betrayed, broken, and buried by systems, exemplifies the bravery that comes from walking while still trembling because you know you are chosen. And yet, when he emerged, he did not return as a prisoner, but as a president. His spirit was not crushed, but crystallized. And that is what God is doing in you. You were never overlooked, preserved, abandoned, protected, or broken. You were being reassembled into something unshakable. This is your emergence, your divine reveal, the vibration of your becoming. The world is about to see it, but more importantly, you are about to feel it. Can you sense that something ancient within you is awakening? That something sacred is stretching through your spirit and saying, "Now is the time. Let it rise. Allow it to flood your chest. Allow it to silence any voices that told you to shrink." Your name was written in light, not in shade. Your narrative is not a side note. It's the headline, and your story is the one that breaks generational curses and creates generational blessings. You aren't just picked. You are catalytic, and your transformation has already begun. This Sunday is not just another date on the calendar, but a chosen one. It's a miraculous alignment of heaven's timing and your soul's preparation. Have you sensed it in your spirit? That slight buzz that indicates something larger than you is approaching? That inner knowing you couldn't articulate, but yet couldn't ignore. That is the frequency of fate. You've been tuned in without even realizing it. You may not have had a map, but you had the instinct. You may not have known the entire plot, but deep down, you knew something momentous was about to happen. And now the confirmation is here. Every purpose under the heavens has its own season and time. Ecclesiastes 3, section 1. This is not exaggeration. This is not emotion. This is alignment. This Sunday honors a sacred appointment that was made long before you were born. The activation of your destiny will cause a divine chain reaction, one that no force, person, or circumstance can prevent or destroy. Are you prepared to see a shift that no one can explain, but everyone can feel? Because this is what happens when heaven moves. This moment was meticulously created. Heaven had been counting down to this hour. And you, selected one, have been unknowingly preparing the entire time. Can you see it in retrospect? Every silent night that shattered you, every tear that felt wasted, and every season of loneliness you couldn't comprehend. They were not indicative of desertion. They were ingredients for the heavenly fire. You did not lose anything because of the effort. It created something fierce within you. You weren't simply surviving. You were being honed. That interior strength, that unbreakable spirit, that calm resilience is not by chance. Heaven secretly sculpted a warrior. And when you have endured for a little while, the God of all grace will restore you and make you strong, sturdy, and faithful. 1. Peter 5:10. You, like Malala Yousafzai, who was suppressed and vilified before rising with a voice that changed nations, have been schooled in private to make an effect in public. She didn't ask for that road, but she took it with determination. And now, you will. Your spiritual boot camp season has officially come to an end. The armor has been fitted. The assignment has been activated. And now, it's graduation. But this isn't just a celebration of everything you've been through. It's the starting point for who you were always intended to be. This Sunday is not the finish line. It is the ignition switch. And let's be clear, you're not simply transitioning from preparation to celebration. You are transitioning from training to territory, from promise to possession. This represents the transition from becoming to being positioned. Do you know what that means? You no longer use the power. You are carrying it. You no longer doubt if you are worthy. You realize you were born for this. The Lord strengthens the ways of those who delight in Him. Psalm, music, 37:23. Your steps are no longer experimental. They're established. Have you considered how every delay was for the opponent, not for you? While you were praying, heaven was making plans. While you were crying, angels were constructing. What felt like quiet was actually a spiritual plan. Just as Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded only to return stronger and alter the world, You are returning to your original calling with honed vision, unstoppable clarity, and supernatural backing. His setback was actually a setup, as was yours. So, chosen one, do not take this hallowed Sunday lightly. Walk understanding that the wait is not punishment, but rather preparedness. Do not ask for signs anymore. You are the sign. You demonstrate that God does not abandon what He anoints. You are proof that shattered things still rise, that delayed promises are kept, and that concealed ones are disclosed. Being confident that He who started a good work in you will see it through to completion. Philippians 1:6. You've trained in silence. Now increase the volume. Allow your footsteps to resonate with the authority of alignment. Heaven does more than merely assist you. It's as powerful as a tidal wave. And what begins on Sunday will not end. It will multiply, accelerate, and unfold until all aspects of your destiny are fulfilled. This is your precious hour. Walk into it with full awareness. You have not arrived. You're climbing. The final step decided upon is not a competition, a task, or another mountain to conquer. It is a revelation, and it requires something significant from you. Acceptance. Not acceptance of pain, not resignation to battle, but complete and unashamed acknowledgement of your power. Are you ready to stop diminishing what God has magnified in you? Are you willing to cease seeking permission for something that heaven has already approved? This is the point at which you must look in the mirror and see someone who has already been selected, rather than someone who is still waiting. Arise, shine, your light has come, and the Lord's splendor has risen upon you. Isaiah 61. No more self-doubt. No more defending your anointing to those who were never qualified to acknowledge it. No more avoiding folks who are uncomfortable with your calling. This season isn't waiting for your approval. It is demanding your consent. Will you ultimately agree with God about who you are? Destiny is not asking you to change into someone else. It is asking you to remember who you were before fear changed your identity, before rejection dictated your worth, before society ordered you to dampen your brilliance. Your future was never jeopardized. It's been under divine lock and key, guarded for a specific period. And now the time has come. Can you feel it in your bones? That the revelation is near. That the life you've only seen in visions is about to become a visible reality. God's gifts and calling are irrevocable. Rom 11:29. Nothing was ever lost. It was saved. And now it's about to explode in full color. Bold, undeniable, and unstoppable. You are not simply stepping into a blessing. You are becoming a blessing. Your very presence will cause a shift in rooms. When you walk in, the heavy energy will lift. You'll speak, and your minds will expand. Wounds will start to heal, and chains will crack. Your words will not be opinions. They will be vessels of transformation. And your serenity, your peace, will be like a salve to those drowning in chaos. But, chosen one, how can you bear such brightness without first walking through darkness? That is why you lost so much. That is why they fled. That's why dreams failed. It was not failure. It was purifying. You were emptied not because you were insufficient, but because the false had to be drained before the truth could flow in. I'll treat them like silver and test them like gold. Zechariah 13:9. The ego needed to leave. The fear has to be broken. The harmful attachments had to be ripped away. And now the vessel is pure. And power moves best via vessels that are clean, given, and prepared. You have been refined. You have been hollowed. And now you're ready to be filled. Filled with clarity, revelation, and divine assignments that transform not only your life, but the lives of all those around you. The gods can now entrust you with favor, prosperity, influence, and generational change, not because you want power, but because you submitted to purpose. Think of Mother Teresa. She did not chase platforms. She became one. Her presence healed not because she shouted loudly, but because she brought love, truth, and purpose in a quiet and pure manner. The world attempted to disregard her, but heaven uplifted her. You, too, are not making a scene. You're stepping in with heft, spiritual weight, the kind that does not require applause, the kind that moves everything discreetly and forever. This is not the season to push. This is a season of positioning. What happens if you stop chasing and instead align? What would happen if you stopped attempting to persuade and instead let the fruit of your calling to speak? The force is already in action. You don't have to knock on doors anymore. They are opening in front of you. The divine timetable no longer runs parallel to your life. It is currently intersecting it. The vision is for a specific period. Wait for it, even if it is tar. It will undoubtedly come. Habakkuk 23. The chosen one has arrived. Stay in your current position. Stay steadfast in your faith, unshaken by delays. Maintain your concentrate on the assignment and avoid being distracted by noise. Stay true to yourself and resist the temptation of old storylines. Because what was once uttered in your heart is about to reverberate throughout your existence. People will look at you and wonder, how did this all happen so quickly? But they will not notice the tears, refinement, and obedience in hidden places. They'll have no idea that this unexpected shift was the result of a long-running communication between you and heaven, just like Denzel Washington, who once stated that his success sprang from adhering to God's plan and timing rather than his own. Your story is unfolding not under pressure, but due to planning. He trusted the process, followed the divine rhythm, and became a vessel for something more than his gift. And now you will. It is happening. Choose one, not later. Now, not maybe, totally, not eventually, but undeniably. The ultimate phase does not involve striving. It is about standing. And as you stand, you are entering the vibration of legacy, power, and boundless spiritual satisfaction. Chosen one, your legacy does not begin with applause. It starts with awareness. And now your spirit is filled with more awareness than ever before. You are not stepping into another Sunday. You're about to enter the reality that heaven has planned for you since the beginning. This is not a time for hoopla. This is the holy threshold. It's the kind of boundary that once crossed, nothing can be the same again. What begins on Sunday will not be a temporary emotional high. Your identity, influence, and divine reach will be permanently elevated, transformed, and expanded. Because this time, it is not based on your efforts. It's based on truth. It is not motivated by striving. It is supported by spirit. And that chosen one is why it will endure. You've been prepared in private, and now you're being unveiled in public. Yes, some individuals around you will start to alter. Some people will separate themselves silently. Some will strive to rejoin for convenience rather than covenant. Don't be alarmed by these movements. Don't be afraid of these developments. Exposure always follows elevation. And, while it may sting, it is a godsend in disguise. God is perfecting your circle to protect your momentum. He is reducing misunderstanding to create way for alignment. You're being strategically surrounded, not those who tolerate your light, but those who magnify it. Those that go beside you shoulder to shoulder, not ahead in pride, nor behind in envy. These are not simply folks. These are assignments. They're divine reinforcements. And, in this sacred activation, you will never walk alone. When the mission is really difficult, supernatural assistance appears. Angels will be sent on your behalf. They will protect you from what you cannot see, guide you away from what was intended to trap you, and whisper strength into your spirit when the pressure becomes too much. Can you feel it yet? The shift in your spirit, the sharpened edge in your voice, the unexpected downloads of ideas, insights, and solutions that are too coincidental to be accidental. That is confirmation. That is destiny coming to life in your life. You're not looking for open doors anymore. Open doors are now beckoning you. And if they do find you, you will not hesitate. You'll move forth with clarity, courage, and heavenly authority. There is no question or delay, only alignment. What's waiting on the other side of that door? Your harvest. Not bits or leftovers, but waves. Heaven withheld waves of everything until you were ready. Wealth, restoration, healing, wisdom, platforms, legacy, and favor. You are entering a season in which even the things you forgot to ask for will arrive. Because God did not create this moment solely to fulfill your request. He built it based on your assignment, and heaven will never forget your purpose. Before we conclude, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude for joining me on this adventure. Whether you've been here for one or several videos, your presence counts. Your spirit has been a part of this movement, and I don't take this lightly. If you feel compelled to sow into this message using the Super Thanks feature, please know that it helps to spread this truth around the world. But hear me clearly. Whether or not you give, your attendance and support are greatly appreciated. You are appreciated, recognized, and honored here. And now I'm speaking this blessing over you. May doors open without delay. May angels walk by you and fight for you. May your words be powerful and your life reflect the glory of God. May every part of you come into complete line with what heaven has written. You were picked. You are protected. You are unstoppable. And now is your time. Go forth. Your legacy starts today.